everyone. Welcome to the third installment of Jillian's Clinical Corner. Today's topic is eye contact. So the first thing we should discuss today is, why do we teach eye contact? As you know, individuals with special needs, specifically ones diagnosed with autism, have a difficult time acquiring the skill of learning eye contact. So whereas a typically developing child might develop eye contact naturally, an individual with autism may not. So we teach eye contact as a specific goal. Now, eye contact serves an important function, social function, even before vocal responding is developed, before it's age appropriate to be developed. And teaching eye contact increases communication skills, both verbal and nonverbal. And think about all of the skills that teaching eye contact could lead to. Multiple studies have demonstrated the importance of teaching eye contact to gain instructional control and to teach an attending response. So not only can eye contact increase social interactions, conversations, communication, verbal and nonverbal, eye contact can also lead to better instructional control and can be used as an attending response. So essentially requiring eye contact before presenting the instruction and then getting better skill acquisition progress because of that attending response and the instructional control that the instructor was able to develop from that. For example, Hamlet, Axelrod, and Kirschner, 1984, conducted a study that demonstrated that, quote, demanding eye contact is an effective antecedent for increasing compliance to instructions, end quote. So in this study, they presented instructions and then waited for eye contact. If the eye contact wasn't made after 2 seconds, the teacher demanded eye contact with a verbal prompt. I think they said, look at me. They found that compliance to instructions increased over baseline across both participants. And this is just one study, and I'll give you guys the references in the email that I sent out about this or in the notes below. But this is just one study that demonstrates that eye contact can be used to increase instructional control and the attending response. What are common ways eye contact is taught? Can be taught in a variety of ways. Can be taught in a separate program with an external reinforcer, something unrelated to the task of eye contact. Some conditioned reinforcer. It can be taught in a separate program like that by bringing an item or food close to your face. So the client will look at that preferred item or at the food that they will receive, look at the item or the food, and then make eye contact and then receive the item or food. It can be taught by, I've seen putting something on your face, like a sticker on your face, close in the middle of your eyes or close to where your eyes are, looking at the sticker and then making eye contact. It can be taught using verbal cues. So that was the research that I cited earlier. Hamlet, Axelrod, and Kirschner in 1984. They used a verbal cue. They called that demanding eye contact. Keep in mind that eye contact is something that you really cannot prompt. So you cannot move an individual's eyes to look at you and make eye contact. Even if you block the sides of what they can look at or give them one of these instructions or put something close that they might want to look at and put it close to your face, you really cannot prompt that. So it's difficult to say that you are going to prompt the eye contact or demand eye contact, but these are some methods that you could possibly use to encourage eye contact. Verbal cues, like I said, look at me or let me see your eyes are two that are common. You could teach it within a token board. So remember last clinical corner, we were talking about token boards and requiring that eye contact. So they do something positive that you ask, they follow an instruction, you have the token, they make eye contact with you. When you hold the token close to your face, you put the token down on the board, they look at the token and track it, and then that encourages the eye contact when they earn the token and when you put it down on the board to look at it. You could teach within other programs. So I already mentioned teaching it within the token board, but you can also teach it within conversation skills. You could teach it within a picture exchange. So if they are exchanging a photo, they need to make eye contact with you. Or you could teach it across all of these areas. So you could teach it within the token board, within conversations. You could teach it in a separate program, all of the above. Because remember, the eye contact does lead to a lot of other skills. So it is necessary to teach it, and it's necessary to reinforce across different skills, so that way generalization occurs and the learner can make eye contact across the board. What is the best way to teach eye contact, though, and what does the research say? Something very interesting I found from Carbone, O'Brien, Sweeney Kerwin, and Albert in 2013 is the concept that within previous studies, social consequences were not conditioned as reinforcers, but instead the eye contact responses were strengthened by extrinsic reinforcers in the form of the presentation of tangibles, social praise, or edible items, end quote. This means that for the ability to generalize and use eye contact as a meaningful means of communication, we may need to teach with tokens or extrinsic reinforcers, but teaching with social reinforcement would be more successful. So think about typically developing person. Why do you make eye contact with other people? It's not reinforced through tokens and tangible items typically. It's the communication back is what reinforces your eye contact. So making eye contact, even in nonverbal communication, would be reinforced by someone passing you something that you were looking at. Kind of a nonverbal command for the item that was on the table. Communication, eye contact within communication is reinforced by the other person communicating back to you. So what that research is saying is that social consequences actually need to be taught and conditioned as reinforcers for eye contact. So like I said, we might need to start with tokens to reinforce that, but we can shape up more social reinforcement as a reinforcer for the eye contact. As a takeaway point, teaching it in isolation seems to be okay to start, but it needs to be transferred and taught across other programs with social consequences built as conditioned reinforcers. As always, this is dependent on your learner. There's not going to be a one-size-fits-all on anything across ABA or the work that we do. So you want to make sure that you are working hard to get that social reinforcement as a reinforcer for the eye contact, teaching it across programs so that your learner can generalize the skill, teaching it across instructors so that way your learner is making eye contact across different people. Hang up today, I just want to take everybody through how to use the Clinical Corner Hangouts group. When you are logged into your GBS email, you can go to this box right here at the top. You can click on that and see right here where it says chat. Click on that, and then you will see your Google Hangouts chat. I'm already in it, but if you weren't, you could go to Jillian's Clinical Corner. This is your chat room. And then here you can see we have a Clinical Corner thread for every month. So this first one is about waiting. This second one is about token boards. That's the one we just did last month. And then this third one is about eye contact. So let's discuss eye contact here. And a lot of people have already commented here on thoughts about eye contact. This is where we got some of the feedback about how eye contact is currently being taught across the board. So if you have any questions about this Clinical Corner or anything previous, so you could see them here. You could see them here just in case if you lost where they were. You could see them here or here. And then after this one is published, the eye contact one will go here. And you can leave your feedback, questions, or comments on the Clinical Corner Google Hangouts chat room. Any questions on that, let me know. Thank you so much for joining me on Jillian's Clinical Corner for the third installment on eye contact. If you have any feedback, comments, or questions, please feel free to let me know. and join us next month for our 4th installment in October. Thank you so much. Bye.